Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Make sure I get everything online. Start a poll. Oh, I should have probably... Alright, so we're gonna make a couple things. First, let's make a blueprint. We want checking, which is something I'm wondering if I'm falling in love with. This all in line. It's still a bug, that's lovely. Good to know that's still a bug. I love that bug. By that I mean we absolutely do not love that bug. Get like a 45-degree slope. It's pretty good. Like this. And then on the guest side, probably want something fully straight up. Because we want to make sure. We want to make sure that the guests get a good view, but also safe. So, should just require something like this. And now we can just really rotate this into place. Now we do still want a bit of a gap here, but we can use this to line it up. This is going to be a bit of a tedious process, but we're in it for the long haul. So this will be Allosaurus, maybe even to like here, because they need a larger enclosure, because we're going to have like, might even do it like here, and then this will be Ceratosaurus, and then we'll have Allosaurus over here. That's the plan. And then we've got Utah Raptor here. The game is feeling a lot better than when I first played it, so that's good. It's still got some annoying bugs, but all in all, it feels much smoother. I want to keep that in there now. Let's see. Very much straight wall here, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, we just kind of keep moving this along. Probably should have made a fence to begin with on the side of it. We'll do that separately. We probably would need to anyway. This is all good while we can still go in a straight line, but when we get here, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Probably need to start rotating it in a bit. Very much so, just kind of getting this into line. These habitats are so huge. Big difficulty with these is that they're just so huge. You have to change up some stuff. Just and the thing is the Allosaurus is actually going to be a pretty sizable dinosaur in here, so it's actually mostly makes sense for them to be in a habitat of this size, I feel like. Okay. Go to the terrain edit. And this is gonna be like a garden on this other side. Curve along here of course we're gonna have to tidy up these areas, but that's a problem for later Gray to handle. That is a problem for later Gray to handle. Lined up. This is gonna pretty perfectly curve around here, which is great. We love to see it. So yeah, nice garden there, and then I think this is the entire T-Rex habitat. Which we're gonna use a slightly beefed up security for that one. So just again, moving everything in line. should do a terrain refresh. There we go. Just do a very similar thing here. We're gonna get this all lined in. Alright, we're getting closer. We're going to take a quick break from that so that we can actually get a viewing gallery. I think we're going to go here. Then we need to go paintings. Scenery, probably plastering. This is actually the exact same color pretty much that I wanted to use. Still also has a sticky key for duplicating sometimes, just decides not to. big is an Allosaurus? So we'll definitely need it to be taller. Question is, can we get away with this? Probably. It's pretty big. Get basics of this wall done. Very basic structure there at the beginning. Now let's do a bit more. A little big. See, we can get this in line here. We're gonna grab this color, and we might actually red it up a bit. I'm basing this pretty highly off of, I think it's the Cincinnati Zoo's elephant house. Darn good right there. That's what's so annoying about this game. I forgot. I guess that's not the same thing now, is it? I'm not relearning the controls for this, but they feel a lot more intuitive now. That bug is still annoying as heck. Like a column there or something. Let's see. Just move this into line. Just grab all this. I just remembered half of this stuff isn't even gonna be. Hey Shadow Clutch, thanks for the resub. I appreciate it immensely. Yeah, we're not gonna have some of this visible. It's going, it's going. I don't really want to select the viewing gallery. It's not my intent. It's not my intent, game. I'm trying to grab the group. Big question is, so how close can we get them? The answer is
Ladies and
pretty
gentlemen,
darn close.
we have added a new viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our magnificent animals.
So we just need to grab these pieces here. There you go. Why that? They go like this. But yeah, how's it been, Shadow Clutch? Hey Jess, welcome to the stream. Ooh, I think we might need to move all of these trim up. This is beginning to look like... Nice. We are building for Allosaurus. So we have our raptor house over here. Still needs some work on it, mainly the interior, where we've got Atrociraptors in here. And then we've got Utah Raptor in here. And then the interior is hot garbage. But I'm beginning to realize I'm not going to care too much on interiors for the most part. Thanks, Shadowclash. I do like the building itself. And then we've got the Pteranodon in here, which I do like this habitat. It needs some foliage in it still. But for this one, we're doing a much more grounded build, is the goal. I feel like that's probably about as far as I want to make it go out this way. Yeah, no, it is nice. Actually getting this to be able to line up. That's what's truly insane. Now, will the dinosaurs actually use this space? I think we can make it so that they will. But I haven't had great times of trying to get guys to go indoors. But this is fine here. This one that we want to make sure it lines up perfectly. If y'all do that, I'm interested to see what the last one that I entered was. I'd like to do... okay. It's back when we were doing our Lizardman campaign. I'd like to do a glass version of this, but I don't know if we'll be able to make that work as well. We still gotta finish that restaurant. Yeah, it's about Warhammer. I forgot about that. Obviously, I don't expect y'all to know that. Just mine. Just mine. We got the Just also likes more. Just, you got an answer? He's there. Oh, the same group. I want more like this. He is known as the Great White Lizard. Because he's an albino lizard folk. Or lizardman. I'm getting D&D. I've got his model somewhere. But I did not paint him. Or maybe I did, I'm trying to remember. I know I did, and I think I repainted him, but I'm not sure. He's a very cool Lizardman character. Got a super huge shield. Yeah, no, he's probably either my second or third favorite Lizardman character. My favorite, I think, is Axolotl, because he's a chameleon. So he's basically Doom, but a chameleon who just kills demons with a blowpipe. He got trapped in the demon realm for thousands of years. And then Croak is also up there, because Croak is just the coolest. Yeah. Axolotl? O-X-O-T-L. I also have his model, even though his is metal. Yeah, this building, I'm pretty sure it's the Cincinnati Elephant House is what its primary reference is. But I think it's their old house. 'Cause I think they've got a brand new one. It's very simple right now. Yeah, so he gets like what's called a ward save because he can camouflage basically. Um, and um, in the video game, he and like a ward save is like a magic, or it's just it has a chance of saving you against pretty much every damage. And I think he also has Stalk in the video game version, which means that even if he shoots, um, enemies can't determine where he is unless they actually get within like line of sight of him. So him and Lord Croak are probably he's probably number one. Lord Croak's my number two. If you look at Lord Croak, specifically his Age of Sigmar model, that's a really impressive model. He's basically a toad guy that decided not to die. Basically, a bunch of demons jumped him, and they killed him, but his will was so strong, he didn't die. I'm trying to think, do I want these edges like this? And I think the answer is probably yes. Because this definitely makes it look much more interesting. Maybe make these pillars a different color as well, but actually, I don't like the middle one because we're gonna sign it. Question is, do I want to do the decal? I might. spell it right. Because doing this always means your spelling will just die, of course. Okay, like maybe. What color do y'all think it should be? Of course, there's black, which will always look clean. Can't believe that these have been so. Thought they were just a little bit honest, but they are actually. Ooh, good point, good point, good point. Sometimes, Shadow, you come up with the greatest ideas. I think I am fine with it being inside there. Gives it a little bit more continuity. I don't know if I would say same style, but maybe... Could I, please? Whatever. There we go. Finally. Sometimes this game is very annoying in some of its selection options. Let's see how that looks. I think I want it a little darker. I honestly think I probably want this one here as well to be that same color, because it's a little too bright. Yeah, that's a little bit cleaner, in my opinion. Alright, let's see. I think I want to lower this. Be more like here. But now... And I do think I like that more than the... Now let's do the Ceratosaurus sign. You want to go into fake advanced building. And I know these guys can technically be cohoused, but considering we're going for a realistic zoo, that wouldn't work. I believe they found Allosaurus, like, tall tooth marks on Ceratosaurus bones, and they found vice versa. So, now it's thought that those were probably just scavenged from already dead animals, but you don't see lions and tigers mixed together in a lot of zoos. Not saying you don't see it, but it's usually like rescue zoos that'll do stuff like that. Unless they're a European zoo, and then y'all just do all kinds of weird stuff over there. Weirdest mixes imaginable. Now let's see if we can get the color on these. I think we want to do the same red color. I'm not 100% sure. It's probably about time for me to do some moat work, because... Hey, how's it going, Monkey's Tavern? Yeah, which I think it is pretty steadily thought that Allo was at least... Oh shoot, I didn't grab the right color. That would completely... Yeah, I figured I'd give it another try. I am liking it a bit. Because I heard someone say that it felt smoother who had similar issues with the game as I did. So I figured I'd give it another try, and it is feeling pretty smooth. There's still some major annoying bugs that really just get on my nerves, that should have been fixed as soon as they were known of. Yeah, it's just still... They have really let me down in terms of bug fixing. Like, they've done almost no bug fixing, it feels like. Like, they have bugs that have been part of the game for almost its entirety. And that kind of feels bad. Yeah, it did have some really great building pieces, but I agree. This all the way up. So I'll make it a little different than the others. Nope, that is not what I was trying to click. I think you knew that game. Yeah, it still is a little finicky on getting into editing a group. It still very much wants you to be part of the, like, whatever facility is in it. It wants to kind of force you to start editing that one, which I'm not a big fan of that. Yeah. Hmm. Like, I like the idea of having a little hangover here, but I don't think it works with the sign. Yeah. I also hate that you can't double click to select the whole word. There are still things that annoy the heck out of me. They don't really have doorways to fit in the arch. Yeah, I don't know that one, honestly. Okay. This is actually exactly what I want. You know what? I don't need the sign as much as I need that, because that looks so much cooler. That looks exactly like what we need. Hold on one second. I got a lot of text all at once. Gotcha. Oh, it won't select that. That's a shame. So I'm going to the zoo tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. Oh yeah, this looks exactly like the stuff that we've been working on. Might bring it a bit. Yeah, we will be going to North Carolina Zoo around Christmas. I don't think we're going to be able to do the Germany trip just because of funds this year. Turns out going from 2 incomes to 1 is a big shift. But we might go to Zoo Atlanta. Which would be cool because they're one of the only 3 in the US that have sun bears. And sun bears are getting phased out, if I remember correctly. So... yeah, that's what I thought. Because I think, right, they're not really endangered. So it's more of a, oh, cool that you got one, rather than, oh, we're part of the good species survival plan. I mean, for sun bears, but I don't know if that's necessarily holds true in total. Like, obviously, the US has some really great conservation programs for native species primarily. Okay, gotcha. So it was like, maybe for like non-native species, but in terms of like Andean condors, red wolves, obviously Perdido key beach mouse, but they aren't held anywhere except the US. Did I say Andean condor? I meant California condor. Black-footed ferrets. It's too freaking big. Okay, let's get back to making sure we get this all lined up. Because I'd like to get some Allosauruses in here soon. And then we can test and see if it really works. We don't, but we assume soon, which does make me think we won't get Planet Zoo news until summer. I know Best in Slot did a video today being like, it's soon. I didn't watch it because I didn't see anyone else creating videos on it, so I was like, it's probably based off SteamDB activity or something like that, which is reliable, but isn't actually going to tell us anything about what the DLC is going to be. I think everyone expects it to be a movie DLC, which I'll reserve my judgment until I actually get it in my hands, but there's not too many new species they'd be able to add from like a Dominion pack, from my understanding. Like, you'd get Distortus Rex, which I'm not buying a pack over Distortus Rex. That's just not a... Yeah, I don't really shadow much. Maybe a Chaos Theory? Yeah. And that just doesn't sound appealing to me for like a... Oh, you've got a Dreadnoughtus skin, right? Because Dreadnoughtus is in the game, I think. You get a Spinosaurus skin, you get a Dreadnoughtus skin. Microceratus skin, and then new species Distortus Rex, something like that. Doesn't really sound appealing to me. Titanosaurs. Was it not Dreadnoughtus? Okay, so they could add D-Rex and Titanosaurs. Meh. I'm honestly, I don't feel like adding a sauropod is gonna. Oh yeah, the Mutodons. They were cool, but I'm not. There's almost no hybrids that are gonna cause me to buy a DLC. Like, there's only a few of the hybrid designs that I really like. I think Indominus Rex is a really good hybrid design. But I still don't think I would build for it. Spinoraptor is one that I like, and I like the Stegoceratops, but that's about it. Yeah, just. Oh, because of the viewing gallery, we can't. Yeah, no, we need real dinosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution. Hybrids are kind of overdone. Yeah, no, I agree, Shadow Clutch. Not get. Yeah, that's so dumb to me. It's like, guys, have y'all been to a zoo? Like, nobody's going to the zoo and being like, I'm trying to remember how exactly I feel like I want to do this. Yeah, nobody's getting tired of watching dinosaurs. Just like nobody's getting tired of watching animals in zoos. That was a stupid plot point. I liked the hybrids, I just don't... Or I liked Indominus. I think Indominus was an okay way for them to take it. But everything after that has been kind of like... The Indoraptor was almost cool, and then they had it die in like 3 seconds. Like, I liked the idea of them being like, oh yeah, we're gonna have... Yeah, here's the thing, it could have worked if they were actually able to utilize it as a creepy villain, and then I thought they were going to launch that into a people using dinosaurs in war and stuff, and it could be about like the ethics of art, like how much are you able to use these animals, I guess. I don't know. Could have been interesting. Instead, I felt like they completely abandoned that plot point. Because I thought it was going to be Jurassic War was going to be the next movie. That's what I thought it was going to be. And yes, in my heart, I really just wanted a subplot where it's just dinosaurs in battle. But Probably put it like a rock here. Let's see if my good old least favorite pal terrain will work for me. I always forget these controls for the stupid terrain always boggles my mind. Like, I just want I guess I could. How far down is it? Not too bad. This moat would probably, with a slight fence there, might be able to make that work. So that's exactly what I want right there. And just get more of that, please. Kind of getting an idea of what we're gonna do here. Yeah, I'm hoping to see the bears tomorrow at the zoo. My zoo's also vastly increased their Madagascar collection, so they've got a bunch of Madagascar herptiles now. So they've got some mantellas. This is going to be temporary here. Has anyone in the chat been watching Invincible Season 4? Thoughts so far? Yeah, I've been enjoying it. But Invincible's just a good show. Shadow Heart, have you watched any of them? Invincible? Ah, I haven't read the comics. So. Wow. Well, it's a good series, Shadow. You might want to give it a try. Okay, this is looking a little bit more like what I want it to look like. If you like gritty animation, like if you've watched Castlevania, you'll probably like Invincible. Basically a superhero. I can't reveal too much about it because a lot of the plot just is so important. A lot of the plot changes in the first episode. So there's not much you can say except that it's about a superhero who's half alien. That's about all I think you can reasonably say without giving away a bunch of plot. It's sort of boys adjacent, but it's not as just boys. The boys was just a bunch of we're gonna see just how much we can get away with. Oh, yeah. That is weird. I liked the boys for a while, but it just kind of became too much of just trying to see how far they could go. And I was like, this isn't really entertaining. I like the idea of what happens to these people, like the corrupt. I get the idea of power corruption, and I think that was an interesting thing they did, but I feel like it just at a certain point it was yeah. Just kind of felt like it lost its storytelling element, in my opinion. But that is just my opinion. I think of shows I've really liked recently. Honestly, I was just been watching Survivor for the longest time, so now I'm caught up on Survivor, which was a monumental task. Oh, the undo key isn't working again. That bug is back. Let me reload. I was wondering why that wasn't working. I haven't. Got nothing in that bridge. Unfortunate. Wait a minute. Oh, you pinged me. That's right. I forgot I was supposed to look at the dinosaur. Oh, it's an iguanodon. Yeah. Yeah, I would be cool with that. I like iguanodons. Iguanodon is one of my favorite dinosaurs, if not my favorite. So them are Pachycephalosaurus. Alright. Honestly, these might just... Is it slope that's... These can be tricky. I mean, we can have that dirt. Sort of makes it work. Okay. Sorry, hit the mic there. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. If it's not mulch, what is it? It's just soil, isn't it? This is gonna be the not so fun on camera stuff to do. Kind of Kind of necessary, unfortunately. Probably better to just this is a much better method of getting the memory. Alright, it's sand down there. Just adjust. We're kinda see if maybe we can rotate it more this way so that it's not so overlapping. Alright, forward into making this look somewhat decent. as we go along. Time has sped by on this. I feel like. You know, it's so funny that Monkey's Tavern and Shadow Clutch, especially, because y'all were some of my first ever regulars. And like, y'all were also at the point where I had like no following whatsoever, so every new person was like huge, so I remember exactly what I was building when each one of you showed up to stream. It's kind of funny how the mind works that way. Shadow Clutch, I was building the red kangaroo slash wallaby walk-through enclosure, but specifically I was building the roof for the little cafe on the top. And then Monkey's Tavern, that was what we did a vote on whether we were going to do Baird's tapir or Malayan tapir as one of the first animals of the new zoo. And I think it was between it's just kind of crazy how far y'all have come. I think I think Monkey's Tavern, I think you did show up a little bit to my previous zoo, but it was right as I was deciding that I needed to start a new zoo, because that zoo just wasn't up to snuff, which is so funny, because yeah, there was that big Australia house, which when I look back at it, it looked so garbage compared to what I can build now. But, you know, that's just how it goes. I remember you were much more knowledgeable in pieces, so you were able to help me out there. I did have a pretty cool roof for section of that. That was something I was pretty proud of, like the metal frame for the cafe. But in terms of actually, like, the whole building itself was very rectangular, which isn't necessarily bad in and of itself, but I feel like now, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong. I feel like now I put more thought into what the building's gonna look like, instead of just starting a building and then just kind of shoving things into it. That's at least what I'm trying to do. I feel like planning can really make your project come along much easier. I think that's one of the reasons that building Jurassic World Evolution habitats and Prehistoric Kingdom habitats is a little bit more difficult for me, because I know how big a lion habitat needs to be. I know how big such and such things habitat needs to be. But like, I ain't got no clue when it comes to like an Allosaurus. So I'm just trying to base this off of some rhino and elephant habitats that I've seen. I, yeah. If there's a beginner that has like a pretty good attitude about it and is improving, then I'll listen to them, but I agree, it is kind of hard sometimes to watch beginners in Planet Zoo because it's such a steep learning curve of a game. It is not an easy game to learn and get good at because it takes so much patience. Like right here, this right here is not a fun process, but it's going to give us a good result, especially once we put foliage there. Yeah, for sure. And then recently I've been getting much more into the like very detailed like what's actually required for a habitat, and that's just another leg of difficulty. Don't worry about that just yet. I think we're almost ready to get a Allosaurus pack in here. I just need rocks, and I think I'm gonna go for like a arid style rock. Just here. Just to kind of fit this. Yeah, for sure. Like, I could have had this habitat done in like 3 seconds. If I really wanted to. But I have an image for what I want the habitat to look like. That's something else I think is super helpful. That I feel like a lot of newer Planet Zoo players don't necessarily have, is that, and I didn't have at the start, is you have to have a vision of what you want the habitat to look like. Otherwise, it's just gonna become something different than what you wanted it to. You have to have not just a vision, but a plan of execution. It's a very intentional game. Still gotta fix these, but I'm feeling much better about how this is looking. going to the zoo and playing Dungeons and Dragons with friends and having friends over for breakfast at the house tomorrow. I'm very excited. I have friends in my 20s. Well, I have a kid and they have kids. I know that's something that a lot of people lose when they have kids, so I'm very grateful that I still got friends. We're just gonna keep that the way that it is. I got nothing on that. I'm quite excited about my D&D character. Playing a Minotaur. Minotaur Paladin, to be precise, which I think is going to be interesting. What happened there? Yeah, these we'll fix later. I want to get the... Oh my gosh, I forgot how massive these are. See if maybe... Yes. Perfect. Alright, let's breed up some Allosauruses. I know I normally do them random, but I want to really pick them out. Synthesized dinosaur. Allosaurus. Let's see which one we're feeling. For the two females. I'm kind of going for like, hey Origin, welcome to the stream. I do kind of like the red. Let me see what the green looks like with the pattern, with a different pattern. Maybe we can do red with a green pattern for both. It's going good. You know, we haven't done a lot on it recently. I feel like that. Well, actually, I think I want the females to be more of this greenish color. Maybe we'll do it kind of like lions and the females are the hunters. And then the male will go with that red. Really doesn't seem super dynamic patterning. But let me show you what we were working on in Origin. This is our Allosaurus Habitat. We're going to create a low fence here. Of course, we still need to smooth out some of these edges. But we got a very basic shape, and also I've been working on. I don't know how many of y'all saw this, but this was my Albertosaurus Habitat, and I've redone the back wall, which needs some work still. But there he is. I do really like this habitat. Yeah, because I think they were found in a floodplain. Select eggs. We want one male. It's intolerant, I mean. Eh, it's sandbox. But basically, we're going to take the Morrison Formation and do a wet season and a rainy season version. So that's something we're going to do. The dry season will be for Ceratosaurus.
Incubation.
Whereas this will be the wet season, which will be a little bit more forested. Sort of a gallery forest.
Asset has been collected.
I really wish we would actually get some guests on our paths. They only go through here. I don't know why. We should be able to reach this. Almost there. We almost get to see our Allosauruses drop. Yeah, I can feel it. It's to be expected. It would be a little weird. But oh, we can hit it. I think they're habitat. Maybe a little too small. Maybe this should be the Ceratosaurus. No, you can put. Yeah. I'm not too fussed. There's the male.
Ah, the Allosaurus, a big bipedal predator that will happily hunt or scavenge for food. This animal really isn't a fussy eater. And, on that note, I'm just gonna take a few thousand steps back.
They're definitely bigger than I thought. Yeah, I know. I've definitely seen elephant habitats that are like not that much bigger than this. So I'm not. Oh shoot, they can walk through because these. Vision on. Well, how can he walk through that if collision is on? Like, am I reading this wrong? It looks like they should be able to fit through, right? Right? It looks like they can fit in all this space, but they shouldn't be able to go that way. We might just not do Ceratosaurus, and we'll make this whole thing Allosaurus. Thoughts, guys? Like, it doesn't look obscenely small. Of course, it's way smaller. Well, it's not way smaller than this habitat. Maybe... Here's what we'll do. We're gonna get rid of one of them. You mean like this way? I think I'm gonna just make it a single pair. Is what I'm going to do. I don't want to deal with that again. I'm already tired of this. And I feel like for a pair of them, it's not so bad. Like, there are worse elephant habitats in pretty major zoos that the ratio is... wild. I feel like it feels much better with two. Let's see. Um, how did I do? There we go. That was an accident. Let's try that again, shall we? That's going to look much better. Fine. This game is still very buggy. That's looking so much more safe. While we still have to get a really good view. What are y'all's favorite animals to see at zoos? That's a good question to have, I guess. So I guess I should start off with what's everyone's favorite dinosaur? That's probably a better question for the what's in this stream. Won't be seeing any snow leopards tomorrow, but I'll most likely Suchomimus. Okay, cool. Suchomimus is not planned in this zoo, but Irritator is. I think that's the no Baryonyx is as well. Let's try to remember. But yeah, tomorrow I'll probably see, in terms of big cats, almost guaranteed to see a cougar. Because every time except for the first time we ever went, we've seen the cougar. Or the two cougars. They're very much comfortable with people now. And I'll almost certainly see the lion. I don't know, they're pretty huge, honestly. Like, I guess technically they're not considered a big cat because they don't roar. But they are the 4th largest cat species in the world. And you can tell. I think these two are still, I mean, they are still young. Whether they're fully grown, I'm not entirely certain. Yeah, but like, cougars aren't part of the, usually when people say big cats, they mean part of the Pantheridae, I think it is, which includes 2 genuses, Neophelus and Panthera. Cougars are in their own genus. So they're closer. I think they're closer related to small cats than they are to like lions. So even though there are big cats, they're not. No, you're good. Yeah, no, it's interesting because they don't have the. I think it's a muscle in their throat that allows them to roar, so they purr and they'll scream. They're really known for their screams. Forgot. Can't. Or control select it has to be shifted. Yeah, very much like cheetahs, except I don't think they're particularly closely related to cheetahs either. Even though the American cheetah is more closely related to pumas than it is to cheetahs. Fun facts for you. Yeah, there used to be an American cheetah. That's why we've got pronghorn. Is because currently an adult pronghorn doesn't really have any natural predators, but the American cheetah was their main predator. but it was closely related to a puma. Yeah, no, they are very much extinct. I want to get rid of that. I guess that's fine now. Get this along. All right. Now let's get some trees planted down. Definitely want some bushes over here to really block that sight line. There we go. See, anything else we can get that really. I'm not going for a tropical area, so it doesn't really make sense for me to. It doesn't make too much much sense. I guess they want to use these as like side blockers, so that the Ceratosaurus and Allosaurus just aren't staring at each other all day. Well, yeah, they'll be able to sniff each other, but just line of sight blockers. Do mainly pine trees because that's what we grow in this area for the most part. I don't want the forest cover too dense, but we also fine with bits and bobs here and there. I guess I should make sure they can still move. Tell me you can't actually go through there. All the collisions turned off, so there's no reason. I think it's just a graphical glitch. That might be enough tree cover. I just want to put tons and tons of bushes throughout this whole thing. Yeah, no, I think it looks much better with just the two of them. 3 was just too much. Like, it's kind of crazy how small of a change it may look like was, but it just made all the difference. I don't really feel like these fit the vibe that we're going for. Don't know if that is either. I want dense thicket. Actually, I might do this. I believe cycads were thought to be pretty prevalent. Oh, it doesn't really look good in my opinion. So, I think the bamboo woodland looks a lot better for possibly being in northern Michigan. That's, I mean, bamboo should be able, there should be some strains of bamboo that can fit in there and still give the impression of that. Or do we go with conifer woodlands? How about... You mean the cycads, or... I'm gonna go for bamboo woodland, but less intense. Yeah, that's what I think is probably the... Probably makes the most sense, but I want to turn down the intensity a little bit. Yeah. Pretty cool. Next week we'll probably do the Ceratosaurus. We've got about 15 minutes left, so let's... I guess what I can do is just... Oh, that's right. No, I can't. Alright, let's move this along. we can at least get this to where it doesn't look like crap. That's our goal. It's that there's at least no big gaps. I do think I'm going to play some more Jurassic World Evolution in the future. I think it feels good enough that I can feel pretty good building in it. I thought we were much further along on this process than we are. Oh well. It's tavern. Well, we've got our entrance animal. No, you're good. So we've got the Guanlong over here. I built this habitat with a baby in my lap. This one may still be one of my favorites. But then when you go across this bridge, which nobody actually can go across, but there's a hyperloop underneath it, this is going to get adjusted. All this is going to be adjusted, but you've got your Albertosaurus down there. Are there two, or is it just the one? It's just the one. So yeah, you've got your Albertosaurus down there. And then over here we've got the Atrociraptors. And then the Utah Raptor over here. And then we've got the Pteranodon Aviary. Then the Allosaurus. Not too much into Marquette Paleo Park yet. But when you get Ceratosaurus, which I think we'll do a group of 2, that will be a pretty good progress. And we can get, hopefully, some of our bigger dinosaurs in. Which I'm completely terrified to do. So we've already shown that my sense of scale in this game is poor. Yes, we will have, let's see. So in this general area, there's going to be 3, so our T-Rex habitat's going here. That I know for sure. But then we're going to have a children's zoo here, and we're going to have 3 big herbivore yards. I think we'll have the Morrison, which is going to have Brachiosaurus in it. Then You mean like a drive-through safari? I don't think I'm gonna do a drive-through safari, I'm not sure. But then we're also going to have down here, we're gonna have the giants of Patagonia. So we'll have Pataga Titan and probably a Magosaurus as well. Even though they don't really go together. And I think I'm gonna have Mamenchosaurus over here. I think those are the sauropods. I'd have to go look at the map that I made for this. I don't know if we're going to do every other week for Jurassic World Evolution 3, but we will do it more frequently than I was, but that's not saying much. It just depends on if I get burnt out on Planet Zoo or something. I wouldn't say that I'm burnt out, but a break is kind of nice. I do have a video coming out tomorrow that's going to be tips and tricks on how to create realistic ramps and stairs. So do be sure to check in on that. That will be coming out at 8 o'clock Central. 8 a.m. I'm really excited about that video. Alright, we're going to get this mulch in place, and then that's going to be it for the stream. We're about to be done. We're actually gonna be fine with that. We're gonna not have them inside for each other for the picture. Ooh, that's a nice sight line, honestly. That's gonna require some work. But... but I think that's gonna be it. Let me see if I can raid someone. Following. Who am I following? I know as soon as I raid, that Stone Soul is gonna go live. Oh. Hey Merlin, thanks for the raid. Were you playing Jurassic World Evolution 3? Nice. Yeah, we're gonna have to raid because it's 10 o'clock here, but I'll give you a quick little tour of what we did today. We built this Allosaurus Habitat. Oh wait. So yeah, this is our Allosaurus Habitat. Still a work in progress. I mainly need to do the gardening here. I'm gonna add some rocks here to make that not look super obvious. And the interior in here needs work so that it actually looks like a night house instead of just a box. And the roof for this building. Because it's just a box right now. And while I don't need it to be much more than a box, I do need it to be more than a box. Yeah, so this is our raptor house, where we've got the Utah raptor and Trosraptors over here. I'll give you just the briefest of tours. We've got the Pteranodon habitat in here. Still needs some work in here, but I do like the rock work on this wall. Albertosaurus down in this area. Still need to finish this rock wall. And then this is our entrance, somewhat based off the St. Louis entrance and also the Lincoln Park entrance. Small influences from Cincinnati as well. And our entrance build is for the Guanlong. And then we've got the Dragon's Den diner, which is very much so not really completed, but you can kind of see what it's supposed to look like. Basically, we have the Western Wonders, which is our North American dinosaurs here. We'll all be going through here. Then the Giants of Patagonia, where we'll have a bunch of South American dinosaurs. We'll have Land of the Dragon along this edge, which is for our dinosaurs from Asia. And then European eons, and I think that's it. I don't think I'm missing another section. But European eons is going to be cool because it's going to have some aquarium stuff in it. But yeah, it is late, so I need to raid out. Let me see. It's done. Let's see, same category. Does anyone have any Jurassic World Evolution players who are playing that they know? Otherwise, I will probably go to RNG guide because I do know him. I think I'll just raid into him. But thanks guys for watching. We're gonna raid now.